Alright, so K-Pop Demon Hunter has been out for 3 weeks now, and Your Idol probably has to be one of the best villain songs in recent memory. Because this is a song about all of us losing our souls, and yet we're listening to it like we're in a trance. You wanna know the real reason why they're called the Saja Boys? Because in Korean folklore, the Grim Reapers are known as Seojung Saja. And I ain't gonna lie, the best part is when Baby Saja starts rapping and Gui Mai basically hyping him up in the background. Like, look at him. Now, this is a song that I've been blasting constantly just because of how amazing it all turned out, because it is one of the best villain songs of all time. I am telling you right now, if the Saja Boys were real, we all would have gone to this concert and all of our souls would have been taken. But then again, they are taking over Spotify despite being a fictional boy band, so just imagine if they were real. Alright, time to rank all the 6 Ranger suits from Super Sentai Reiwa era. Last one for me definitely has to be Boon Violet. I like the color palette, but I'm not exactly a fan of the Boon Boondra suits, and Boon Violet just looks way too similar to the main team. Unfortunately, that same logic also applies to Kira Mai Silver. The suit looks great, and I really love the goggles, but again, doesn't really look any different from the other Kira Major suits. Next up, I'd say Dora Goku and Tora Bolt. Personally, the main appeal from the suit is that it's basically 2 Ranger suits in one, but aside from the armor and visor change, they don't really look that different from each other. Next up, I definitely have to say 2 Kaiser, because the suit is so good, it looks like it could be the 7th Gokai Ranger. My second favorite is definitely Goju Polar, because it has such a badass design. Like, the glove and the karate gi aesthetic just looks way too cool. But Spider Kumonos is definitely number 1, because it's just too damn cool. And Jeremy is already an enjoyable character, so combine him plus this awesome suit definitely has to make him one of the best 6 Rangers, period. But what do you guys think in the comments below? Alright, with the Power Rangers reboot set to start filming, I figure why not share my idea on how I'd reboot the series that isn't just Mighty Morphin all over again. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but my idea would be making a Die Ranger-inspired reboot of the series. Die Ranger is one of the most beloved Super Sentai seasons, so I think it deserves to be properly adapted into its own season. But I did say this reboot would be Die Ranger-inspired, because there are going to be some unique ideas in there. My first idea would be having the Rangers be college students, so that way not only do they have to deal with school stuff, but also outside stuff like part-time jobs. And if you know anything from the comics, I need the villain to be Dark Spectre or someone related to him. Since in the comics, it was the Squadron Rangers who first fought Dark Spectre before they became the Morphing Masters in the first place. There's also a character in Die Ranger named Jin who is a ginormous fan favorite in that season. I think a character based off of him would make an excellent new Black Squadron Ranger. Finally, I would have this reboot idea be animated in the same way the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is animated. That way we can have the fight scenes pop off in a way that we've never seen in Power Rangers before. And if y'all know Die Rangers, this show has hands for days. So yeah, that's my Power Rangers reboot idea. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, time to finally have the discussion of whether or not John Jones is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. Now, when you look at his resume, you could definitely say that he's the GOAT considering all these impressive wins against Rampage Jackson, Shogun Rua, and Rashad Evans. But then when you take a closer look, you would realize that in a lot of Jones's fights, his opponents are like multiple years older than him. And when he fought someone his own age like Alexander Gustafsson, Jones was struggling big time. And there's the fact that Dominic Reyes arguably beat Jones 3-2. Arguably the biggest victory in Jones's entire career was when he defeated Daniel Cormier in their second fight. But then the fight turned to a no contest after Jones tested positive for Turinabol. The second biggest win in his career was when he beat the young and hungry Cyril Gane. But Cyril Gane is a striker first and foremost, so his takedown defense wasn't going to be the best. And aside from the fact that he was absolutely ducking Tom Aspinall, he was absolutely ducking Jan Blachowicz and Francis Ngannou. Also, serious question, do we care that Jones beat a... Alright, so apparently Elio flopped at the box office and Pixar is apparently blaming us for it. To be more precise, Pixar is calling us out for saying that we want more original movies, yet we don't support Elio. Now, this is going to be coming from someone that enjoyed both Luca and Turning Red, and it's that we're getting tired of getting the exact same sort of movie over and over again. Because at least Luca and Turning Red have something to make them stand out. Elio has nothing. It is one of the most generic kids movies that's ever been released. Like, I know I mentioned K-pop Demon Hunters endlessly, but it's literally an original animated film that everyone loves. Like, the first song of the movie is literally called How It's Done, like it's Sony showing Pixar how to make an original animated film. And is that a Kamen Rider reference? But hopefully Pixar learns their lesson and actually tries moving forward. And actually try to market your films, because I barely knew this movie existed. Alright, so Mega Dragonite finally got announced for Pokemon Legends ZA, and reactions have been very mixed. Apparently this design is supposed to be based off of Dragonair with the way it has the wings on its head and the pearl on its tail. Now looking at Dragonair, I can definitely see what the designers were going for when it came down to Mega Dragonite. But why are the wings on its back so small in comparison to the angel wings on its head? Like, that just feels weird. Although the fact that Mega Dragonite had a smile on its face when he launches a powerful attack is honestly kind of hilarious. Overall, I don't have that many problems with Mega Dragonite's design because it looks pretty good all things considered, and in hindsight, it could be a lot worse. At least now all the pre-Unova pseudo-legendaries now have Megas. Don't worry, Mega Hydreigon, your time will soon arrive. And don't forget to check out my book series, Gods right now, selling on Amazon. Thank you all and have a good day. Alright, I think it's safe to say that a lot of Black Rangers and Power Rangers are some of the biggest aura farmers to date. Like this motherfucker Dylan not only pulled up and jumped out of Scott's whip, this man then proceeded to beat the ass of every single grinder that was there, and there were hundreds of them. Like, look at the pile. Dylan was not messing around. Then you have the nonchalant Dreadhead Will, who not only walks through Camdor's blast, but then uses his staff to transform. Like, nah, that was straight disrespectful. Speaking of Operation Overdrive, Adam literally came out of retirement just to show the new heads he still has it. This moment right here was pure aura fun. We're phenomenal! That's why he's the GOAT! Hell, even Tommy became a Black Ranger Dial Thunder, and it's without a doubt his best fit out of all. By the way, I'm still a Sentai newbie, so if the Black Rangers are equally, if not even more cooler than the Power Ranger versions, just let me know in the comments below. Thank y'all and have a good day. Alright, I think we can all agree that the Chameleon is without a doubt the lamest villain in all of Kung Fu Panda history. Aside from the fact that she can transform into anything she desires, she's basically a lamer version of Lord Shell. And her backstory is so contradictory considering the fact that Mantis and Viper exist. And when you look back at all the former Kung Fu Panda villains, all three of them not only had aura but also challenged Po physically, mentally, and spiritually. What exactly does a chameleon challenge Po in this movie aside from the fact that she doesn't even have her own name? Also, I'm sorry, but her final fight with Po was probably the weakest final battle out of all the Kung Fu Panda movies. I said it before and I'll say it again, the chameleon is just an off-brand Shang Tsung, but without the aura. And I know he was in the Paws of Destiny show, but Jin Dao realistically should have been the villain of this movie. Alright, now that some time has passed, here are my brief thoughts on the Superman movie. Without a doubt, this is my favorite interpretation of Superman because he feels the most human out of all of them. Because despite being one of the most powerful individuals in the world, he's not a god. His humanity is what makes him so iconic. And this is the most comic accurate version of Lex Luthor that's ever been in the movies because he is such a hater and I love it. Like, Superman was really pressing Lex Luthor, asking where was Crypto, and Lex was just acting like he did not know what he was talking about, all if it meant making Superman look worse. And I did think it was possible, but they actually made Mr. Terrific cool in this movie. Also, if Jimmy Olsen was real, I'd hate it because his Riz is comic accurate. Overall, I give this movie an 8 out of 10, and congrats James Gunn, you probably gave us the best movie adaptation of Superman. Well, that's just my thoughts. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Alright, with Pokemon Legends ZA releasing soon, I think it's a perfect indicator on how the Pokemon franchise should move forward. Now, this is just going to be my opinion, but I think we should get more sequels like Black 2 and White 2 than actual remakes. Don't get me wrong, seeing an older region in a new way like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was really cool, but I also want to see what new changes a region could have compared to last time we adventured through them. Like imagine a Kanto game that was an actual sequel to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Would it be interesting to see what new changes the most lackluster Pokemon region could have? Hell, imagine a Alola sequel game where gyms are now implemented since now there's an actual Alola League in them. Now I like good remakes, but I personally believe Pokemon should focus on making sequels in order to show the passage of time to see what changes have been implemented. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below.